Hey guys, just wanted to touch bases with you real quick and point out a couple things about your philosophy of education statement. Okay, so at this point you've already read about it in the book, and the book goes into pretty good detail. You also have a very, very short PowerPoint where I pointed out a couple notes I wanted you to do. And for your homework, you should have already answered the questions that will guide you from page 39. So if you've done everything you're supposed to, you're in a really good place to complete this assignment. So you should have already pulled out your assignment packet before starting this video, but if you haven't yet, go ahead and pull it out and turn to page 5. You can pause the video. Okay, so we're going to be going over this assignment, which is due next week, which is October 1st at class time, so at 2:15. All right, it's got to be submitted on Blackboard. All right, so the philosophy of education statement is going to go in your portfolio, as you saw, right after your personal background. So when future employers open your portfolio, they're first going to see a little bit about what brought you to where you are today, and then they're going to get to this. This is where you build a solid foundation of who you are as a teacher and what you believe. Okay, so this should not be super long. Okay, you're going to notice at the top the requirements. It should only be 1 page. Now, for some of you, that'll be really easy. For some of you, you're going to have to trim back a lot. And the reason is employers don't have all day. They want a snapshot of who you are, so you make it very short and sweet. Okay? So you also need to make the single space. So with everything else you do in CHD, it's double-spaced APA format. With this, it's single space. Okay? So all it should be is simply your name, philosophy of education, that should be centered, and then you write it. Okay, so you can use answers that you wrote in all the questions, but you have to cover at least specific topics, and they're listed down here. So the topics that you have to cover are the roles and responsibilities of a teacher. What do you believe? Now, what you believe and what I believe are very well different. They could be the same, but this is what you believe. There's no right or wrong answer. Okay, so you also have to cover your beliefs about how children learn. So think about the stuff you've learned in class. You know, children learn from experiences, through interactions, through the environment. So write up what you believe and how they learn. Next, you're going to talk about what are the qualities of an excellent teacher. Now, these don't necessarily have to be qualities you have. Maybe they're qualities that you're developing. So for me, I would write qualities of a good teacher. Gosh, these are really good ones you learn in CHD 215 in your models class. Qualities of a good teacher is a researcher, a lifelong learner, somebody who's passionate, somebody who loves what they do. Okay. Next, you're going to write the roles of the family. So what do you think the roles of a family are? You know, of course, you might think they're the first teacher, that they're a puzzle piece that works with you. Okay. So then you're going to write theories and philosophies that support your thoughts. And I made a really good list in the PowerPoint. So for me, if you've had me as a teacher for any length of time, you know that my teaching philosophies are the philosophies that support my teaching are Piaget, Vygotsky. I mean, I'm huge in that children learn through assimilation and accommodation. So you're going to list some of these, but use what you know to construct this. Okay? And outside of those, you can pick at least one more topic to discuss. And this can be anything that you're passionate about. So for me, if you know me well, you know advocacy is a big part of what I do. I think it's really important to advocate for children and families. So I would write about that. But I listed some ideas that you might want to use. You might want to talk about environments, you know, all the stuff we've learned about how classrooms should be set up and rating skills. You might want to talk about inclusion or interactions, you know. So all this should be organized very well. It should be very, very easy and explicit for me to pick out what you're writing. So I should be able to read a few sentences and know exactly that that is your part about the roles of teacher and family. Okay? Please, please, please double check your spelling and grammar because it says a lot about who you are. Now, as somebody who hires people, I will tell you, if I get a job application and you've got a doctorate degree, but if your spelling and grammar is off, I'm not going to hire you. It says a lot about who you are. So please, please, please check that. Okay? Lastly, I always suggest before you submit anything, go through the grading rubric I've given you. That's for you. So go through and say, is this 1 page? Did I have the heading done just like on here? Is it single space? Boom, you have 10 points. Then go through and say, can I highlight a part in here that talks about roles of teacher and family? Can I highlight in here a part in here that talks about the qualities of the teacher and so forth? And if you can actually pick those out, then there's 60 points. Then you go through, is there another topic? Is it very obvious that I'm talking about a separate topic? There's 10 points. Make sure it's organized nicely. Make sure you're spelling and grammar, and then you're done. Okay? So make sure to have all this completed and submitted by next Wednesday, October 1st by 2:15 on Blackboard. And after you've gone through the chapter, the assignment we just looked at, the PowerPoint, if you have questions then, feel free to let me know. But make sure you do not ask questions until you've read everything you need to do. Okay? All right. Have a good one, and I will talk to you next week. Next week, we are scheduled to be in class for cover letter and resume instruction. As of right now, I think I might actually be able to be back on campus next week. But keep an eye out on your email because things change. And if the doctor does not clear me to leave my husband for a little bit, I'll just be instructing you via video. Okay? So either way, you'll have a teacher teaching you. And I will talk to you soon. Have a great week.